Hi guys, this is Tekim. In today's video we're gonna show you like how to speed up your system after installing Windows or after some time when you get clogged with a different update, different programs that you installed over the time. Primarily we're gonna concentrate on the setting up the system like after you install Windows. So the first thing what we're doing usually is we're trying to get rid of the parts like and things like on the screen like that we don't use. So for example, on the bottom, as you can see, we don't need email, we don't need Microsoft Store, and we definitely don't need Cortana button. If you want to fix the issue, actually if you don't like the look of the search button, you can actually change it here. Right click on the search, go down the search option and just show it as an icon. You can even hide it if you wish. The next thing that we're usually doing is like we're checking what's installed on the start menu and we're trying to uninstall them, which means remove them from the system. So there is a few options, few programs here that we're probably never going to use beside maybe Spotify. So we could use that, but in our case we're never going to use it, so we're going to remove it from the system. Next one is Office, which is a trial version, and you have to connect to the internet, to the Microsoft to download a copy of the Office, which in fairness what you call it, like you can do it free trials like for up to 90 days or so, and there are different options like that you can use it as a free Office. There's a Linux version of OpenOffice, not really famous around, but it will do the same job as the Microsoft Office. Next one here, I think it's a newsreader. We can uninstall that. Play Prime Video, we can uninstall that, we're never going to use it. We can uninstall this, some games that came pre-installed on the Windows 10. A few programs here, PSX, remove those things here. We have Outlook, don't really use it. Word is part of the Office package. Uninstall OneNote. PowerPoint we don't need. Uninstall, we're gonna get to OneDrive eventually. We're gonna get to the uninstall part of this video. We don't need Skype at the moment because the one that's out there is actually older version, and we're gonna use the new one if we want to uninstall. So that thing is sorted. I'm gonna pull this one out here. Mail, we can leave it here. Install this part. We're gonna go to the start here and see what actually is poking our eyes, and it shouldn't be there. We're gonna show you like actually current usage of the system, which is 2.5 gigabytes or out of 8 gigabytes. This system is actually i5, as you can see, 4590, which is quad core, 8 gigabytes of memory. We're talking about Dell Optiplex like OEM system. So 8 gigabytes for the system is more than enough. If you want to use it as a gaming, because we're using currently NVIDIA GTX 750 Ti like to record a video. If you want to game on it, it would be recommended to add another 8, but that's for another story, another day, another video. Right. So the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna go down to the File Explorer. We're gonna go down to this PC and check the specs to see what we actually have. So Windows is activated because it's OEM. Most of them are actually pulling the license like from the Microsoft servers to activate the Windows on its own. If not, there's plenty of options around on the eBay, on the other sites like that are verified, like, or even on the retails that are verified, like to give you the Pro key or Home key or Basic Student, whichever is easier. Excuse me. In this case here, why we are here like is we're gonna try to sort some settings like that will make system run faster. This is the whole point of the video. So we're gonna go down the remote. We're gonna switch off the option allow this computer to be controlled remotely, which means like we don't need anyone to access our computer without our knowledge, and that's more as a safety precaution. Here we have system restore is on our Windows, on our SSD. It's on. Basically what it means like is Windows is creating a system restore point once in a while, or you can do it manually. You could use that kind of system restore point, like in case if the computer doesn't want to boot up. So now we're gonna go to advanced. We have three options here. First one is performance, which means like visual effects, process scheduling, memory usage, and virtual memory. This option is giving us a few things. Considering like that older hardware, for example, like consider that this would be partly gaming PC, partly because it's OEM, so you can't overclock it, but you can still use it for gaming because it's a quad core and it has a decent graphic card. To pull out the best performance out of it, like we could actually change certain things around the windows, and one of them would be either, in this case with visual effects, would be either appearance or performance. So it's up to us which one we want. If we want for the appearance, that means like all gadget effects and things like that like will be turned on, and your Windows like is gonna be not slowed down, but the memory usage would be increased. If we want the best performance, we switch everything off and use only last three, just to have effect that this is Windows 10 and that it still looks and feel like Windows 10. So just press apply and OK. The second one, we don't really can be bothered with it. That's okay. You don't have to touch that one. Startup and recovery. This is the part like where default operating system. The reason why this is on at the moment is because it's a new installation, and this only come in use like if you have more than one operating system on your hard drive or SSD. So the 30 seconds limit that's actually showed up here on the screen, it's 30 seconds to give you automatically, if you don't press anything like during the boot up, BIOS is going to show you two systems. If you don't press any, it's going to be the first one who's actually selected, which could be here under Windows 10, let's say Ubuntu or any other Linux distro, right? Considering that we have only one system here, there's no reason for the operating system to be delayed for 30 seconds to choose it up, right? We can press OK here. Next thing what we're gonna do is like press right click on the SSD, and we're gonna go to the disk cleanup. Disk cleanup is an option like which shows us like certain folders within the system that could be actually built up. So for example, like downloaded program files. This usually could be sent like from the Microsoft, showing certain things like that Windows would need, like, and it would automatically update without even letting us know. Temporary internet files like would consist like maybe some web pages that you visit, so cookies, pictures, things like that. Delivery optimization files, it would be again something that Windows would require. Once they are downloaded, they are automatically installed throughout the update. So once that process is done, basically you can delete them here. Recycle bin is like you know yourself, like it's actually on the desktop. Temporary files are most of the time they're empty, like, but still like you can actually delete even if there's something small there. So we can delete these files. We're gonna get like around 1 GB of storage back, which is actually very good, like especially if you're on a tight space. So once that's done, I'm going to show you another way how to clean extra space. We can go here, clean up system files. This is going to open similar windows like to the previous one, and it's going to show like more things that you can delete. It's mostly related like to the system, so outdated apps, things that Windows doesn't use anymore. So we have Windows Defender antivirus, so it could be some kind of like older updates, downloaded program files, nothing there, temp we deleted already. Device driver packages, so if we are installing let's say iPods or trying to connect the phone with the computer, we're going to use the cable. But once the program for it like is installed, usually within, depends on the manufacturer, he's sending an update like constantly, so the older files would be actually sorted here. So the older files like once the new one is installed, the older file will gonna build up in this area here, so you can easily and safely delete it without any issues. Again, language resource files, that's if you download specific language, like, and down the road that language needs to be updated, upgraded, whichever. So all the files are going to accumulate here. Thumbnails, temporary files, most of them is actually clean, so we don't have to do anything there. Now the next one, what we're going to do is uninstall or change programs, right? So in this window here, we're going to show you, like, well, it's not even going to show you, like, it's mostly kind of like the programs that we're never going to use. Like Cortana would be the best option, like, just switch it off, because they don't have to listen what you're doing and follow you around. So this one is off. 3D viewer, it's okay. Alarm clock, really no point of having that, but we can't really delete it. Feedback hub, that's reporting experience to the Microsoft, which really is pointless in my opinion. Microsoft OneDrive, this is all, like, again, up to you. Like, you can keep it, you can use it to log and save your data, like personal files, like on the Microsoft Cloud, or you can uninstall it all completely, like, and save your data on external drives or USBs or DVDs, whichever it comes handy to you. So we're gonna uninstall that one. Yes. What else we have here? We have weather that can stay. Sometimes it's good to see, like, what's the weather in Ireland. Xbox application, we don't need that. Default apps are usually like whichever program you install. Most of the users are using either Firefox, Mozilla, or Google Chrome, or different, for example, like music players. Older generation would remember Winamp. Here we can switch between like Groove Music, which actually came like with the Windows 10 or Windows Media Player. Usually we use the Windows Media Player for it. Video player, again, considering we don't have VLC installed, we can use that one. Web browser, if you have more than one installed here, like, it will show you the list. So if you have a Firefox, if you have a Chrome, if you have a Chromium, whichever it's coming handy, like, it's going to show on here. If you want to go back to default, you can press reset button. Next one, offline maps, we don't need that. Startup, so these here applications actually running in the background, like, are the one that's turning on, like, during when the computer is turning on. So basically when it comes to the desktop and everything, these programs would be the first one, like, who are coming in. You can also see them here. They're not measured. Basically they are all kind of like low impact on the system, like, so there shouldn't be any issues, like, with turning on the computer, like, and running the different applications. So we're gonna go back here. This is the Windows setting, basic kind of screen and everything. We're gonna go section by section and show you, like, how to turn off certain things, like, that are not necessary, which would actually damage the performance of the system. We're using a smaller non-1080p monitor. It is 1440 by 900, but it still does the job, like, with doing reviews. Sound, we have a microphone, we have a sound master volume, etc, etc, so we don't have to touch anything here. Only one that we should be actually paying attention to is a power and sleep. Basically, like, this is showing us how by default how Windows is actually treating the computer. So if you're not close to the computer, the screen would go off in 10 minutes. Or if you're not working on the computer, the computer will go into the sleep mode in 30 minutes. If we want to pull out the maximum performance out of the system, we're going to go to additional power plan, and we have three options here: balance, power saver, and high performance. High performance means that the CPU processor would actually be used at the maximum capacity, which is what most of the users actually want. The balanced one is alright, like, but it's the high performance is the one that we are actually looking for. And this, considering that this is a Intel platform, the high performance within the Windows setting is actually going to do the job. On the AMD side, there's a software that you downloaded directly from the AMD, and he's doing the similar task as the high performance within Intel. There's a certain things that could be adjusted with the AMD software, which here in the with the Intel one, like it's not really that possible. So if we go to the high performance, as you can see, like it's still the display by default is going to be turned off in 15 minutes. You can make it like so it doesn't switch off at all, or put a computer to sleep, which is never. There's one small thing that I wanted to show you, and that's this one here. Turn off the hard drive after 20 minutes. So this option here is giving you an idea, like let's say if you have one SSD and you have a hard drive. So considering that most of the files, if you're browsing, if you are listening to music, if you are just doing basic things, or just leaving the computer, like, you know, go to take a cup of water or something like that, most of the time, like the hard drives like that are not being used, even if it is a high performance, like they will still be switched off after a certain amount of time. Now this option here, it's by default in the high performance, it's set by 20 minutes. So if you don't use the hard drive, or you're not using any kind of like a saving data or playing some games off the hard drive or things like that, it's automatically gonna go down in 20 minutes, which means it's gonna switch off. Now you can turn off that option by typing in 0, apply, and OK. So that means like that the hard drive is gonna constantly be working on 7,200 RPM, rotation per minute. Or if you have a different type of hard drive, like he's still gonna be active. Now we have like the SSD in this moment, like, so there's no reason like for us like to change anything here, like, because the SSD is the main part of the Windows, of the files and everything that's been dragged around, like, so this would not make any difference to the SSD. Now we're gonna go back. Device, there's nothing here, it's basically like just plug and play things there. Okay, phone, if you want to sync your phone like with the Microsoft, we're not gonna do that. Dial-up, VPN, Ethernet, connected, we're connected by the cable, so it's okay. Personalization, this is the one of them here, like is gonna actually save you memory on the computer, like it's actually gonna speed up a little bit. That would be here down the colors. So the transparency effect is one of them that's using the RAM of the computer, which means like if you have 8 GB, it's gonna take a small bit out of it. If it's on, if it's off, that means the transparency is off. That means that the memory is gonna be reduced, like from the usage, so it's gonna be easier to get maximum performance like out of the system. Another thing that it's actually much better, like it's even better for the eyes, is the dark mode, as you can see here that we switched on. It's much better for the eyes, and by the old style believing thing back 20 years ago, the darker picture on the system and the static picture on the system, so one color one, is much better for the system resources than the light one, or the one with background that's actually with so many colors. Apps uninstalling, we checked that already. Accounts, email, this is with the syncing thing, everything is off like automatically. If you want to kind of do it yourself, like that's not a problem. In most of the cases, like syncing your personal files with the Microsoft servers, like it's not really great because you don't know who's on the other side, let's just say like that. Time and language, that's automatically set, we don't have to change anything unless you want to change what you call it, like, or add another language to it, that's not a problem. Next option is the gaming. It is gaming, like it's more kind of like related to the Xbox and overlays and things like that. We just don't need that. Game mode, switch off. And Xbox setting, no one use it. Display, this setting here, like it's kind of like interaction, speech, keyboard, so it's kind of like if you're using microphone, headphones, typing. It's basically there's nothing to be changed. Search files, Microsoft account, allow apps to be searched, no work school account, history, search history, clear search history, so we don't need any of them. Privacy. Allow websites to provide locally relevant content by accessing language list. No. Allow actually Windows to track app launches in improved start. That's okay. Show me suggested. Oh, that's okay. Speech, that's okay. Ink and personalization. Use your typing history and handwriting patterns to create a personal dictionary to make. Don't really need that. Diagnostic feedback, optional. Delete all diagnostic about this device and feedback never. This part here, like every time when there's a newer version that's coming, like about Windows, like for example 1908, and upgrading to 2004, 2008, which is I think this one. I'm gonna check quickly. 2004. This option constantly goes on. So that means like every time when there's a latest patch, like or newer version of the Windows, this option, and I will show you like one more when we finish with this Windows settings, it's constantly coming on. For some reason, Microsoft wants that to be on, like, and doesn't really do much. Doesn't really do much to us. Activities history, store my history on this device. No. Clear activity history. Yes. Location is already off. Camera, we can leave this one on, but only for the camera app. Edge, and once you install the Skype, it's gonna be on. What else we have? Microphone, same story. Switch off. Edge, just leave for what's actually needed. Voice activation, allow apps to use voice activation. No, we're gonna switch that off. Choose the default app for headset button press. That's like if you want headset button press. That's like if you have special headphones like that, would instead of kind of like plug and play, like you can switch it on and off on the button. Keyboard notifications, we don't need notifications. Account info, no one needs that. Contacts off, calendar off. The calendar, the reason I'm saying calendar off, like, is it's also related with the account of the computer. So for example, like if you're making sorry, if you're making like offline account like we have it here, there's no reason like for the calendar to be accessed like with mail or people. If you make online account, and I will tell you like why in our opinion like it's kind of like a bad, because once you kind of create an online account with Microsoft and you log into this computer like with your online account, automatically computer will pull out all information from your email. So if you have some meetings, plane tickets, shoppings, etc., that you actually saved on your phone or things like that, the computer automatically is going to pull it off from the email and it's going to store here. So it's going to give you a notification that something is coming up. As good as it is, it's bad. It's kind of like sword with two blades, like, so it's all up to you. You can leave it on, you can switch it off. We usually switch it off. Phone calls, no. Call history, don't need it. We don't use the email provided here, so that's gonna go off. Allow apps to access your task, no. Messages, no. Radios, no. Other devices, we could leave this. Communicate with unpaired devices. Let your apps automatically share and sync info with wireless devices that does not explicitly pair with your PC, tablet or phone. We can leave that on. Background apps. Now this is the main part, like, which clogs the background, which it's actually going to speed up the process, like, and performance on the computer. So whatever you see here on, you literally don't need. Once you switch that off, you will see and reboot the system, you will see the difference, like, between the RAM usage, the performance, the response of the applications once you open them. App diagnostic, allow apps to access diagnostic about other apps. No, we don't need that either. Documents off, pictures off, videos off, file system off. That's it. And been there, yeah. So, and the last one is update, delivery optimization. Hello, downloads from other PCs. No, we don't want others to be interfering with us. That's just Windows security. Backup, if you want to add file history or things like that, that's okay. Recovery, in recovery, like, you can reset your PC again, like, to, if you use it after a certain amount of time, like, and the system get clogged, like with unnecessary files or things like that, like you can actually press that get start to reset your PC, like either by deleting, kind of like refreshing it, or by the completely deleting everything off the hard drive that you have, like, you know, personal files, all programs that you installed. So it's all up to you. Activation, Windows is activated. Find My Device, that's off. For developers, we don't need to change that. That's for more advanced users. And the next option I wanted to show you would be services. Now there's kind of like certain services in within the Windows that we usually switch off because they're not necessary to be running on the computer. And like I said, like every time when there's a new batch of the drivers, of updates, of patches of the Windows coming up, like they automatically get turned on, right? So in here I will show you services that you actually don't need. One of them is Distributed Link Tracking Client. You can freely turn that off. Stop and press OK. And there was one more, telemetry. You can switch that off. Basically what does it say is here: the connected user experience and telemetry service enable feature that supports in application and connected user experiences. In addition, this service manage the event driven collection. So basically, like whatever you do, whatever you planning to do or anything like that, like those experiences. So for example, like we deleted like one of the on install or uninstall programs, we deleted one option where it says like a support, like give a review about Windows or some kind of like issues that are there. So this is actually that's tracking it, and with that kind of part, like they're sending updates or patches or anything like toward your computer, or it's just not you, like they're actually gathering in more same issues or more information that they can actually gather. Like the easier for them is actually to create the update for your computer to make it, let's say, safer, running smoother, running faster, etc., etc. The next one that I would like to show you is this one: Payment and NFC SC Manager. Right now, the NFC is actually a thing of a future, of the past, whichever you want to call it, like, because we didn't start using NFC like until maybe 3 years ago. Basically, like if you remember, like you have application like that, you don't have to use your credit card or debit card, or you don't have to have it with you. You can link your credit or debit card within the application that bank created, and you can use your phone to pay for your shopping, for the groceries, whatever it is in the shops, by touching the phone to the card point. So it's logical to have it in the shop, but there's no reason like to have it at home. So payment and NFC could actually be switched off completely. There's no reason to be running in the background whatsoever. Now the next one I would like to show you. I just want to see, where is it? It's touch keyboard. Most of us have a normal keyboard, like, so there's no reason like you don't have a tablets or anything like that that you can using for the jobs, for writing and things like that. So this can switch off. Update orchestrator service, that can go off too. Stop, apply, okay, and let's see, I'd say that's about it. Update. This option is like, it's up to you. Like if you don't want to receive any updates from the Windows, you can switch it off completely. You can also switch it off like through the registry, but considering that this video is actually to show like the basic user, like, you know, how he can pull out more performance like out of his system, we're just gonna go like with what we actually can see. Registry is more advanced part of the system. That's, you will have to know like the keys, the codes, the things. So that's more advanced for the ordinary user, like, and we're gonna skip that part. As for the Windows update, most of the users like trying to avoid the constant updates. Windows 10 is a bit different like to Windows 7. Windows 7 you can completely turn off the option for the Windows update, and you are, let's say, safer on that way, where on the Windows 10, if you're really lucky, and by really lucky I mean sarcastic way, you could actually end up like every second or third day getting some Windows updates, and that annoys users, like especially like if they're gaming, if they're maybe in the middle of some kind of like work that they need to finish, like, and then the update pops out, wants to reboot the system, and you don't even have time to switch off everything. So you can either disable it, manual, automatic, or delayed start. Like it's all kind of like when the system turns on. So this is the tutorial, let's say, in this kind of case, like that I wanted to show you, like would be more to sort out the windows within the windows, to speed up the process, to speed up the boot times, to speed up the opening the applications, to clear the files like that are not necessary without installing, let's say, CC cleaner that would just bring additional problems to the system. This is more straightforward, so it's not a problem like actually to use it. Even the ordinary user can actually like follow the certain steps that we show you here. So I hope you like this video. Before we go, I just want to show you, like, you know, the certain performance. If you remember, like at the beginning, like we had memory usage, RAM usage, if you will, we had it like 2.5 gigabyte out of 8, which is like 1/4 was used like just for the Windows and the applications. So in this kind of case, I'm going to show you, like, you know, how much is currently after we switch off certain services. We fixed, let's say, not even fixed, but kind of speed up the process and turn off the settings like that really Windows didn't need to have. So performances 2.5 gigabyte. It's still right. So to make this to sort the issue with the memory, what we can do, once you reboot the system, this number should be lower. Now after rebooting the system, we're going to check the system usage, and like we said, after all services, all settings we sorted out, turn off services, etc, etc, we can see the difference between the 2.5 and 1.9 gigabyte of the memory usage.